Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Houghton. Call me Robert. Just some background information about me. I've been teaching. I've actually just finished my fifth year teaching, and so we'll be going into my sixth year next time. I'm teaching currently computer science, sixth through eighth grade at Fulton County. Previously, I taught business, and then, I guess some legislation passed, and they said, "Hey, guess what? You're teaching computer science." So, I don't really have I've always been huge into technology. I love tech. Um, but I never, ever, ever wanted to work in it professionally. But here we are, life says you're going to do it and you need a paycheck to feed your family. And you say, yep. So that's where I am. That's what I do. And that's part of the reason why I'm exploring this master's degree at ITEC. This is my second semester, but I am pursuing this because this really isn't my background, at least from an educational perspective. I do use a lot of technological resources. In fact, my class is fully digital. I haven't used any physical resources. I started teaching at the height of COVID, so everything I made for my classes was totally original by me, created digitally, with kind of a lot of individualized freedoms as well, because I knew I had to engage students who were busy being kids, not at school, running around, riding bikes, stuff like that. So I had to make lessons that appealed to people. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyways, I'm just excited to be into iTech and start to learn a little bit more about what's going on in this community, and maybe even being a part of it moving forward. Anyway, so that brings us to the research that I'm doing. I noticed very quickly I've been doing computer science for 2 years, and I just did it across sixth, seventh, and eighth grade for the very first time last year. I noticed a huge, huge thing, and it's common apparently in this field, but my girl students do not think that computer science is for them. And I get them because in sixth and seventh grade they don't get to decide what their connection is. So when they come to my class, they have no prior experience. They don't know what's going on per se. They're like, I've known computers are for boys. I don't really like it. And genuinely, and some engagements always here and there, but genuinely, some of those girls rock code. They absolutely tear it up. They are creating solutions that I would have never considered. And I'll talk to them because my year long is a high school credit bearing class. So I try to encourage them to shift over, because where my current demographic is, I get my high school credit classes usually have about 32 kids. Of those 32, 28 usually are male. And I don't really think that's a safe space for girls to be in. I always feel miserable for the four girls that are in there. I try to make sure that they're with their friends if they have them. And there really isn't a lot of overlap. My school is predominantly Indian, and there is a lot of segregation that's occurring amongst the students, where they just don't correspond external to their male female sections. And I've been trying to boost that because I want my female students to feel safe, and they are genuinely phenomenal. So I just this past semester, Q3 something, I had one girl who absolutely destroyed the coding assignment. She was done in a flash. She'd never done code before, but it just spoke to her, and I'm like, you've got to take this class. And she's like, I don't know, it's not for girls. I genuinely hate that. I do not enjoy the fact that they don't feel comfortable in this space. If you know about Ada Lovelace, because we have to teach her, and so I learned about her. She invented computer programming language. She invented algorithms and the first theoretical computer code. Females are built for computer science. The way, I don't know, they do stuff that I couldn't do. They think of things that I couldn't think of, structurally fundamentally different. Because computer science doesn't always have an exact solution. So having multiple perspectives and a breadth of knowledge is actually huge. I know that we live in a time where everybody's talking about diversity and the value behind it, but you genuinely can see the difference that like cultures and background knowledge comes to the computer science field. I never imagined, because like I thought business was personal. Like I could talk about what you're interested in and we could build a company based on that. But computer science is low key personal too. Like there are authentic ways that individuals can approach problems that are genuine to themselves and not necessarily the status quo. Um, and I just want to see more. I want to see more of that, and I want like my female students to feel comfortable exploring this path in their life, because it's a high paying job, and like why discount it? Like you can offer insight that isn't typical in the field. It's genuinely a real valuable asset, and it feels like a shame that these girls are discounting themselves so early. So I'm huge on making sure that my instruction, like what I get from you guys here at KSU, is authentic to me, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to get that knowledge, and I'm here to apply it to my coursework, or sorry, to my professional life. That is my end goal. I want to make sure all of this information is relevant. And I think this would be very insightful, because I have very little information in computer science in general. Like, I mean, I passed my GACE at the professional level, and I did do some trainings. Like, I'm pretty good at, well, no, I'm not pretty good. I know enough to be able to teach it. But I would like to know more on how I can reach these students specifically, because I'm noticing the same disparities that are occurring professionally. Like the ratio is out of control. It's crazy small, the participation. So I want to do research on how to engage women in STEM. Like I want to research into like how to be an effective role model, how to get them engaged, what kind of content would be useful for engaging them. Well, and I know that you say that, we're not doing research or whatever. I think it's a like semantics, like a vernacular situation. It's easier for me to say research and just continue, but you're probably right. It's probably inauthentic. But I want to comb through that research, and I want to like figure out what I can do to try to boost the engagement of these students specifically with computer science. Because that disparity exists, and I would like to do my part to get rid of it. Because these girls are just brilliant, and I want them to know that, and I want to build a system or a structure or a classroom, whatever, that is going to affirm that for them, and help them get in there just with the boys. Like ideally, when I'm like with that research implementation, hopefully I could get these classes to look more like 16 and 16. That would be my ideal outcome, is to have it like split down the middle 50-50. Wishful thinking, I know, but anything that I can learn to apply there would be super authentic. So I've already been exploring. I see a lot of good materials. I'm learning like there's a lot of like culturally relevant information that's circulating. I'm going to be exploring a lot of that, specifically with minority groups, because my school is predominantly Indian, followed by like white, black, Asian. But it is like 54% Indian. So I've already looked for the data. There's not a lot for like Indian students specifically. But I am interested. Like I'm trying. I see a lot from minority groups. I'm seeing a lot with black women. I'm totally stoked to review that and see what I can figure out. But I am gonna keep trying to find like I'm finding a lot of like Asiatic, like I don't know what the proper term would be, but like Asian oriented like researches, but not specific to Indian, which I think is still good, because like value systems tend to like, and maybe this is reductive, but I think that like regional value systems usually parallel, because like they've grown around each other and informed each other for so long. So like I found this really cool study done in Thailand, and I think that that might be applicable. Like obviously it's not going to be one for one, but I might be able to find like those same like patriarchal like system reviews, and try to figure out how you can break down those barriers of like, oh, I can't, that's not something that we can do, and be like, yes, you can, like you can. Like, I want to be able to do that for my students. So that's my why behind this. And I'm super stoked to get into it. I've already got so much stuff. It's actually kind of terrifying how much is interesting to read and review in regards to this class, because I'm like, I also wanted to have a little bit of fun this summer, but it seems like I'm just going to be reading because there's a lot of cool stuff, and I don't know how I'm going to find the time. My research experience, by the way, and I know I didn't really talk about this, absolute zero. Like, it's pretty well, it's not absolute zero. I had to do like some annotated bibs in my bachelor's program. I totally cannot remember it. I have no clue what I did for those. My wife assures me that she knows. I'm gonna have through this class. This class is gonna show me what to do, but she's also probably gonna hold my hand a little for the structural like aspects. For reference, she's like, I love APA. She likes actually implementing it. I've always hated doing citations and stuff like that because while I totally get it, I totally understand why you should give somebody credit for it. Like, it's just such like, it's so busy. Like, I want to like get into the implementation. I want to talk about it, but like, credit where credit's due is important. And I don't know. It's tough. Like, I'm a pragmatic person. I'm not like an academic per se. I'm like a do it and implement it and real world stuff. Like, that little academic nitpicking is just not like that interesting to me. But yeah, I've never done research. Everything that I've done is like pretty much pure instinct as an educator. So I'm a little excited to get a little bit of like some real info to like back my decision making process, and so that I can be a little bit more informed for my kiddos and do a better situation, right? Or like give them a better situation, a better education. If I can do that through this, then terrific. Um, all right. Is there anything else that I need to talk about for you guys? Doesn't seem like it. Well, anyway, totally stoked. I loved the little video that we did with the meeting between us all, talking about, what this class looks like. It seems awesome. I'm ready for it. Everybody seems chill. Um, oh, anything else that you should share? I've mentioned this before in the classes that people have with me, but I am diagnosed level 1 autistic. Um, People, I think that kind of like makes them go, oh, and I don't mean to like construe that like there's a negative implication there. Um, but I am here. I'm available. I am empathetic, at least by my own definitions. Um, I love interacting with people, so please, like, don't be hesitant. If we need to collaborate for anything, I'm more than happy to. I love helping people out. I love being useful, stuff like that. But please be patient because, like, on text, I have a awful time trying to interpret like meaning. It's very difficult in general, but specific to text, like, I get so confused so fast, which honestly, this fully digital like education has been absolute torture, because I have no clue how to interpret the information. It takes me a long time to get used to new systems and implement them into the routine of my life. So it's challenging. It's challenging to get into these and like get my feet under me. I make mistakes. Not frequently, like I know that I'm mistake prone, so I try to like comb through as much as possible, but it still happens. And so just my advice is please be patient. I'm extremely patient and forgiving with you guys. Like, if there's anything, like, I'm not going to be offended. Like, I'm going to be like as supportive as possible for y'all, and I just expect the same in return, if that's okay. But otherwise, that's it. I put myself a limitation of 15 minutes on this video because I know that I can ramble. But I appreciate you listening, especially if you made it this far, because that is a long time to sit here and talk to me, or listen to me talk to you. But anyway, I appreciate your engagement and thank you for being a part of this with me. I will be seeing you guys throughout the semester, and have a wonderful day.